Trapmore gang, anybody that's followed Chicago drill is familiar with two names, Bloodhound Lil Jeff and Bloodhound Q50. Now, there's been rumors for quite a long time that these guys were operating as contract killers, hitmen. All right, I've done videos about both of them, okay? I call them rapping hitmen. That's what they have. That's not me snitching. They are rapping about doing hits, and they're always talking about going on hits. And they always talk about how many hats/murders that they've committed. That's on them. That was their idea. They put that out there, okay? And Q50, he's been talking for a while about hits that he was doing across state lines. You're going to call me the Feds, but he's the one that said all this, okay? He said, dudes, no, I got bodies from state to state in the mill, Milwaukee. I'll be clapping dudes for the for the money, for the paper, all right? And so in this video, I'm basically going to break down some of the theories that have been going around and some of the new information that surfaced about the potential truth behind Bloodhound Q50 and his deceased compadre Lil Jeff apparently being out-of-town hitmen and running up the bag in Milwaukee, murdering people, specifically a gruesome triple murder that some people think they are actually responsible for. Bloodhound Lil Jeff also talked about doing murders in Milwaukee. He said, dump a dog in the mill and I still got the pound. Quick to hop out and chase you down. He's talking about, I commit murders in Milwaukee and I got paid for it. Now, prior to his passing, okay, if you know the story and you know my channel, you'll know that Lil Jeff infamously posted images to Instagram alluding to having murdered a lot of people. Specifically, this is one where he claimed to have 10 hats. He basically posted it, says, I know you heard about that shit. They say I did, but I did worse. He's showing 2 hats. He allegedly committed a double murder, all right? 3 hats in one at the start. That is apparently a reference to a brazen triple murder that happened out of town. These 2 graduation caps, these are references to him killing 2 students outside of a school, all right? So it's 3 hits on the first go round, 2 graduation caps. We know what you're talking about, Lil Jeff, all right? We know what you're talking about. So interestingly, all right, we finally received information from Chicago Police Department that Lil Jeff definitely wasn't capping about having these hats. If you know the backstory, I'm going to give you a very, very brief update. But in January of 2024, 2 high school students were killed in a broad daylight shooting, and it would later surface that apparently these 2 young guys, I believe their names were Monty and Lil Rob, who were actually killed in retaliation for Lil Jeff getting his watches taken.
I'm going to show you right now where this happened. Take a look behind me here. The teens 16 and 17 were shot just on the other side of this elevator structure that you see here, close to the street. Police are calling this an isolated incident. The moments before and after the shooting were all caught on a nearby surveillance camera. You can see both victims here on the left side of your screen. Here on the right side, a dark-colored SUV pulls up. Underneath the train tracks, at least one person can be seen running from the car, ambushing the victims. The shooter then runs back into the SUV. The driver taking off south on Wabash and then turning west on Madison. All of this happening right in the middle of the Loop lunch rush hour. Witnesses tell us as many as 10 or more shots were fired. Chicago police say a group of 16s had just left a nearby high school when the shooting happened.
So immediately after that shooting took place, if you know the story well, you'll know that Lil Jeff took to Instagram Live to basically take responsibility for the whole situation, and police would later use this as evidence. Alright, so I don't want to play the music too much, right? But he's saying, you know that shit never take too long. That's a lyric that he would later rap, a bunch of clock emojis, a bunch of thumbs down. He basically saying he did it, all right? And apparently I'm hearing that he was in the same fit, is what it is. Now, in February of 2025, the police eventually arrested 2 Bloodhound members for the shooting, and specifically, they identified a deceased co-defendant that died the same month as Lil Jeff. So we can pretty much deduce that it was Lil Jeff that they're talking about. It says on the early afternoon of January the 26th, 2024, Coleman and 2 others jumped out of a stolen Infiniti SUV and shot Boston and Williams on Wabash Avenue. Shortly after they were dismissed from nearby Innovations High School, the high school students and Coleman's accomplices, including another Innovation student, had a history of disputes prior to the fatal shooting, prosecutors said in a charging document. Coleman was arrested in Jefferson Park Wednesday. Over a year after that initial crime took place, Judge William Fay denied Coleman bail at a pre-trial detention hearing Saturday, citing the callous nature of social media posts uploaded minutes after the shooting and proclaiming Coleman to be an active danger to society, who racked up multiple charges. One of Coleman's accomplices died in June, and the 3rd shooter, who went to Innovations, has not been charged. That's very, very interesting. It says Coleman, along with 2 other accomplices, hopped out of a dark blue Infiniti SUV, was it a Q50, Was it an Q50 SUV? Perhaps. That was stolen 4 days prior from a University of Chicago parking lot and begun shooting for at least 15 seconds in the direction of Boston and Williams. Assistant State Attorney Mike Picara said they blocked the passage of cars underneath the Washington Wabash CTA station directly adjacent to Innovations. Both victims were shot in the chest, with Williams sustaining 6 wounds. Boston was shot 3 times. 22 shell casings were found at the scene, and both were declared dead. Coleman and his accomplices fled down Wabash Avenue. They basically pulled onto disable Lakeshore Drive and I-55 before arriving in South Suburban Dalton and Calumet City. Soon after, the alleged shooters swapped the license plates with another Infiniti FUV to throw the investigators off, but the plan didn't work. They were investigated for a year after the shooting with license plate readers, security cameras, eyewitness accounts, and social media videos, pod cameras, all stitched together. A picture of the stolen Infinitis whereabouts shortly after shots were fired. An anonymous tip pointed authorities towards an Instagram owned by the uncharged accomplice, Jeff, and Coleman's account was discovered shortly thereafter. Oh, actually, no, that might not be Jeff. That might be the young'un that was at the school. Videos of Coleman and the other alleged shooters pulling down balaclavas and revealing their faces were posted to social media accounts minutes after the shooting, and Coleman said the 2 other men in the videos were dancing to music that included lyrics about shooting at their ops. Suspects were identified because of clothing in the videos, matching witness testimony, and security cameras that captured the shooting, including a red jacket Coleman was wearing with the letters AMI printed on the front. Why are you doing drills in such specific clothes? You're coming out like K-Flock. The owner of the Infiniti SUV identified the interior of his vehicle from videos uploaded to social media. Investigators approached former teachers of Coleman, and they identified him as the person in the video. Cooked. Overly cooked. But could it be that Lil Jeff and Q50 were just as sloppy with their Milwaukee hits? Now, if we go all the way back, all right, basically Milwaukee rapper and alleged trapper K-Rax would basically explain that the Bloodhounds, the gang from Chicago, actually have deep ties to the city of Milwaukee that goes back nearly a decade to 2015.
Like connected like to Chicago, like Milwaukee.
Shit, me and my brother sleep. We locked in with on the Kirby, Dern. They brothers said, like we been locked in since we started up on some street and it went. Shit, you know how when you do shit with people, it just lock you all in more and more and more and more. I met them niggas in like 2015. We was all broke as hell trying to come up with a way to get some money.
About like Q50 and all them.
Mm-hmm.
Was they Bloodhound already when you met them?
Yeah, hell yeah.
There's a lot of like stories on the internet about them coming up to Milwaukee and stuff. Like, talk about that a little bit.
Fake girls. That's like somebody who got enough time to make up.
But they even said it in a couple of their songs. I'm not talking about no hot shit. I'm saying they even said in their songs though about coming up to Milwaukee.
Like they was coming here to get money. There's a lot of money that could be made here. There's a lot of money. There's a lot of money in our city, folks. Just you gotta go and get that. Came here, they figured it out.
Yeah.
Shit, that been their way to get their money. It's way before rap. They've been coming here down there like almost 12 years.
I didn't.
So I really hate, hello little friend. I really hate how rappers and drill rappers and gangsters be doing this. It's like, oh, that shit all fake. That's all fake. That's all cap. Nah, but they really were coming to Milwaukee to get their bread. They figured out a way to get bread in Milwaukee. They was getting busy in Milwaukee, but it's all fake. It's all cap. Isn't it all cap, Leah? Is it all cap? It's all cap. So basically, all right, as we now have confirmed that it's all cap, it's all fake, but also they were definitely coming to Milwaukee for damn near 12 years. To give you an idea of the type of business that K-Rex was getting money out of, okay, he was recently arrested for a major drug distribution operation.
Los Angeles in pursuit of a reckless homicide suspect.
An alleged fentanyl dealer, potentially linked to a man's suspicious death, is at the center of a West Dallas police chase. 29-year-old Daquan Walton is facing several serious charges, including first-degree recklessly endangering safety, maintain drug trafficking place, and fleeing from an officer.
We're going to go in for a pit if we can.
West Dallas police say on November 13th, they responded to the suspicious death of a man born in 1985 at a home near South 74th and West Walker Streets. Inside the home, officers found a digital scale with tan residue and other drug paraphernalia. The man's longtime girlfriend was taken into custody for her suspected involvement in giving the man fentanyl. She told officers that Walton had supplied the two with fentanyl daily for 6 years. Officers arranged for the woman to buy drugs from Walton later that day in Milwaukee near 39th and National. When he arrived, they attempted to pull him over, but he wouldn't stop. Officers say Walton hit 80 miles per hour, weaving in and out of traffic before getting on the interstate. During the chase, officers say he tossed drugs and a weapon out of the window.
He was dumping it in between essentially Lloyd and the stop sign for the Lisbon exit. Look for other baggage. Did anybody pick up the gun?
After a 7-minute pursuit, he was eventually pulled over.
Suspects in custody, 24 Walnut.
Officers say Walton had 11 phones, a small amount of fentanyl, and nearly $2,500 in his car. He admitted
11 phones, a bunch of fent.
to throwing the gun out of the window, but says
so there's a lot going on over in Milwaukee, let's say that, all right? Milwaukee's definitely cracking, it's frying. People saying, damn, K-Rax, is you really up a bag of fent? Would have been 10 bags of fent, but if the cops ain't make me... Anyway, all right. On the song My Glizzy, alongside Q50, okay, and K-Rax, Bloodhound Lil Jeff allude to killing people for K-Rax. He said, no, I'm still hopping out, even if I got the wheel. They telling me rap, but I'm still going to drill. Do play with K-Rax, then you know he getting killed. No, I ain't talking cleats when I say we in the field. I can see it in his eyes. He never caught a kill. So he said, you play with K-Rax, I'm a kill for you. Like, what? In Milwaukee? Like, is that where you be killing? Now, I'm going to tell you about the case, okay? Get your comments in now. Call me the feds. Do your thing. I know, yeah, I know how it goes, all right? Guys can jump on songs talking about how they kill people in Milwaukee all day long, but if I pull up a little video, all right, of a brutal triple murder that actually took place in the city, apparently this was a drug-related homicide. I've already told you these dudes be dealing with the fent and they in the drug trade in Milwaukee, and they're saying Lil Jeff be getting his money out of Milwaukee, doing what he had to do, finding a way to make money. I'll be wrong. But I'm going to tell you, in March 2022, the authorities in Milwaukee did respond to a brutal triple homicide that did apparently have something to do with the drug trade. This is it.
The case involving 3 men shot and killed execution style at an apartment in Milwaukee is still unsolved. 2 of the victims were brothers, and detectives say it's going to take the whole community to get this killer off the streets.
They ain't no more pain. They ain't gonna hurt no more.
On March 28th, a day after the...
Now, notice this as well. When they talk about they be killing people in Milwaukee, they say, I be in the mill. That doesn't just stand for Milwaukee. This shit happened on Mill Road, the mill. They be in the mill catching hats. Oh, what, Milwaukee or Mill Road? All the same. You, like, stop telling on yourselves, and then I won't make videos about it. But, like, when they say they be in the mill catching hats, they really be in the Mill Road in Milwaukee.
The triple shooting, droves of people came out to remember the 3 men killed. Anthony Thompson, Tierese McKinney, Clarence Harris.
When are we gonna stop? When are we gonna love?
The day before this vigil, family members of one of the men called police when they hadn't heard from him. Milwaukee police detectives say they went to the apartment at 54th and Mill Road.
When they got there, they found that the door was ajar to the apartment. And when they entered the apartment, they found that there were 3 adult males that were all deceased of gunshot wounds.
Detective Tim Keller says they believe it happened around 2 in the morning while people were sleeping, which makes what they know about this case limited.
At least one of the victims that resided at the residence where this occurred was engaged in drug dealing from that residence. And that's potentially the motive for this. People sometimes are hesitant to tell us what type of activities their loved one was involved in that could have led to their death. It really does not matter to us other than potentially figuring out a motive. We don't work any less hard on a case just because someone was engaged in drug dealing prior to being killed. We need that information to come forward. And no matter what the information is, if someone in the community knows who is responsible for this, we need a person who's capable of entering someone else's home and killing 3 people to be held accountable so that they can't do this again.
They say,
well, if the rumors are to be believed, right? People saying this is Lil Jeff's hats. People saying didn't pay the plug. This is the hit Lil Jeff was on. That's 11 months ago. It's a long time ago, right? People been knowing this. Lil Jeff's hit, allegedly. All right? You're going to call me the feds and act like this isn't what's going on. Now, obviously, one of the people who would allude to this triple murder having happened was Lil Jeff in his Instagram post, which, as you already know, that is 3 hats. All right? And that was quite a while ago. This would have been early days for his hitman career. All right? This is 2022. This is 3 years ago, okay? What's interesting is that Bloodhound Slimito on the interestingly named track Big 3 that also featured Lil Jeff and Q50, he would say, on my first one, I caught 3. I swear to God, I'm kind of different. When they're saying Big 3, are they talking about the Big 3 artists on the track? Or are they talking about the Big 3 bodies that they caught? Again, you're going to call me the feds, but look, on my first one, I caught 3. Swear to God, I'm kind of different. There's not many triple murders that happen in the world. This is a very specific crime you're copping to. Now, Redditors have been discussing the alleged hit for quite some time. Okay, they've been digging deep. We're saying this is the report on the Milwaukee triple murder that Q50, Jeff, and Slimito rapped about. Of the 3 victims, 2 were brothers. I don't know how true this is, but the reason for this murder was that one of the victims owed a drug seller. Slimito said on his first song, on my first one I caught 3, I'm kind of different. The self-snitching these guys do is insane. Q50 down there said the same thing. First time sliding, I went up 3. Big 3. The song's called Big 3. It's a banger. It's a great song, right? K-Rax with the money on the head. Basically, it's a bag on a dude head, literally, all right? He's posting that to say, we put a bag on the op's head and they got it done. That's what's basically being said, all right? No way you guys really went and found that thing. 3 in a day. My dude kind of surprised me. That's on the track Op K. Endless songs. And the drug dealer is K-Rax, a.k.a. Q50 and Slimito's cousin, who paid them to kill him. You crazy. How do you know? Oh my God. You really police? Oh, everyone on here is police. This scares me how you really dig deep for stuff like this to try and get somebody locked up. You're dumb as hell. Triple homicides don't happen often, so it's very easy to pinpoint what they were talking about. I live in Milwaukee, and all I can say is it's been going around that out-of-towners collected. Used to be up here a lot for cars too. Plug dropped a bag. Bloodhound Reapers came to collect. All right. It is a mess. Now, some Redditors even believe that Lil Jeff actually reenacted this here, and you're going to call me the feds. Bloodhound Lil Jeff recreating the murder of the 3 victims in Milwaukee who got killed in an apartment by 3 shooters after they kicked the door in. They're saying this is what happened. That's apparently reenacting what happened. They kicked in the door and just shot everyone dead. Okay? Yes, he was a first-round self-snitcher. News article, it makes sense to me. And then all the lyrics. And in the video, it claims Jeff and 2 others, Q50, Queese, and the same dudes on Triple Threat song, claiming they were up 3, kicking in an apartment door. Just like how the 3 in Milwaukee got killed and killed someone. I think it was a paid hit. But why were people after a 50-year-old, or was he just innocent? He was just innocent that happened to be there. They were trying to get juice, and the other 2 guys just happened to be there, wrong place, wrong time, and got killed, okay? Now, what's interesting, there would be even more crazy stuff in the aftermath. So the more murders that kind of happened after this that people are kind of looking at with a bit of a side eye is this one in December the 3rd, 2023. By the end of that same year, there'll be another tragedy striking the city of Milwaukee when 16-year-old GBG Chevy actually was killed in what they say was a targeted shooting, and apparently he was heavily involved in the streets himself.
And another family is grieving the loss of a 16-year-old gunned down as he left the basketball game Saturday night. Someone shot Chavez Collins after a game at South Division High School near 13th and Mitchell. And while police have not announced any suspects in this investigation, Collins' grandmother told us the past few months have been particularly hard.
The last 8 to 10 months has been very different for us. The streets consume my grandson.
It's really, really sad, right? And apparently, less than a year later, there was apparently a get back for this incident when Clifton Penn Jr., aka BBM Mook, would allegedly be killed in retaliation for that hit. So this is basically going on. It says, Milwaukee fatal shooting, 58th and Fairmount. A shooting left a man dead on that street on September the 4th, around 5 p.m. Police say the victim, an 18-year-old man, was pronounced dead at the scene, and investigators are looking into what led to the gunfire, but no arrests have been made. But interestingly, 607 Unc and Milwaukee Hood News would actually discuss the Bloodhound Gang and their alleged connection to these shootings.
Problem, right? But all my viewers and everybody right there at home that's watching, they got to understand the real truth about Milwaukee. So I want to talk about the truth about Milwaukee, right? Because I don't got no valid truth that happened, but I got valid truth that what happened was this, right? When Mook got killed because of Chevy, right? And the person that killed Mook, like I keep telling you, is Bloodhound Jeff from Chicago. He was paid to kill Mook by the GBG gang, and I don't think you understand that.
It wasn't Jeff, bro. It was affiliated with that. It's close, but it was not Jeff, bro.
But it's not close, gang, because listen, you saw.
No, it was Bloodhound, but it wasn't Jeff.
It was Bloodhound, but it was Jeff. Because listen, if you Bloodhound and you connected with Jeff, you don't know who doing the hit, right? It's under their tag. Just like if you go to McDonald's, you don't know who made the fries.
You know who did it, bro. It's their most turned rapper right now.
But you don't know who did it. Like if you go to McDonald's, they most turned person making the fries probably don't make your fries that day. So you don't really know.
Bro, you stupid as
Come on, gang. How am I stupid? I'm just keeping it real. So how do you know, right?
He's saying they know who did it. It's their most turned rapper right now. He's saying it's Q50. That's what he's saying. They're calling it Milwaukee, right? Look, I'm not saying Q50 did it, but he's saying it's their most turned rapper. Tell me a more turned rapper from the Bloodhounds, right? Lil Jeff's not alive. So, you know what I mean? And this is November of 2024. So, all right, the Redditors would discuss Bloodhound's ties to Milwaukee's in much more detail. And basically, it starts sounding like the Bloodhounds are actually an arm of the Milwaukee streets, right? It says, bet y'all don't know that Lil Jeff got bodies in Milwaukee. They know now. He's real respected in Milwaukee, mostly because he was paid to kill, earning his respect out there, all right? They love him out there. This is K-Rax. Long live Lil Jeff, showing love after he passed away, right? Legendary dude. To them. They're saying, dude was always destined to be murdered. You can't kill forever without being put in the dirt. Getting paid to drill MFs you don't even know is crazy work. These guys are psychopaths. That's why they tied in so much. Ain't nothing like a hustler meeting a killer. You can sit back and drop them bags. Dude in the middle of a dead Milwaukee giveaway. But basically, they're saying dude was a menace. It's insane if true. It's definitely true. He even said it himself. I talk to Milwaukee cats regularly. They call me. Some stuff ain't for the internet, but Jeff wasn't hiding it. So F it, it's stamped, all right? And so basically, K-Rax would regularly post reminiscing about his favorite shooter. He was just kicking back, dropping the bag. This is one that he posted at Milwaukee Trapper, K-Rax, reminiscing on his personal hitman, Lil Jeff. Miss you, gangster. Ain't met a dude like you ever. You was everything these dudes tried to be. Real Savage 101. Crown you needed out. Was that No BS? NSA? Oh, you needed out here. He needs his hitman. You're never going to find a hitman like that. You is everything, right? They're saying, why doesn't no one speak about Bloodhound Swerve? Post talking about these dudes rather blow up off rap than make them MFs feel the same pain. That's probably a diss to Q50, I'm not going to lie. But interestingly, okay, the war in Milwaukee didn't stop, all right? In December the 18th, 2023, apparently 2 local factors in the streets known as Jig and Selly Cell were killed near 20th and Locust on Milwaukee's north side of the city. Okay, this is going around. It says 2 Milwaukee fathers who were rappers were killed in a double shooting.
Kendall, you spoke with loved ones of both men, and this is not only a loss for their family, but also for the thousands of fans on social media.
Javon or Jig Wilder and Marcel or Selly Cell Hendricks have music videos with millions of views on YouTube and thousands of followers on social media. But Milwaukee police say a gunman cut short their dreams of making it big. The 2 died in a shooting here just after midnight on Monday.
We come to you tonight, God, because we have truly lost another loved one.
A memorial of green and gold balloons and inflatable letters spelling the name Jig. That's how family, friends, and many fans knew Javon Wilder, an up-and-coming rapper in Milwaukee's music scene.
Mama said you can make it sound if you believe, Jigga, but the back of my mind keep on telling me different.
His music video for his song No Hook racking up millions of views on YouTube. His talent, something his grandma Peggy Wright says she's so proud of.
Oh, he wanted to be a singer. He wanted to move up out of Milwaukee. He wanted to leave here and further his career in rapping. That's all he wanted to do.
Video from early Monday morning shows the scene near 20th and Locust, where police say someone shot and killed the 26-year-old Wilder and 24-year-old Marcel Hendricks, also known as Selly Cell. In his honor, black and silver balloons and candles. His mother, Robin Parker, unable to make it to the vigil Tuesday night, spoke with us virtually about her son.
Marcel, he was such a good kid. He was such a good person. And it kills me on the inside. How could you do this? And the only thing I could think about in his last moments, was he calling for me?
Parker says Hendricks, a father to 2, had another child on the way.
That's what I'm proud of. He loved his babies.
Both families now tasked with planning funerals days before Christmas.
There's a lot of killings going on and they're not being solved. And I hope my grandson is not one of them.
It's really sad, man. So look, that's kind of all of the information that I've got on this. I mean, there's still a few other clips going around of like, K-Rax basically just, out here in Milwaukee with Jeff and them. Basically about how, if anyone was messing with them, you was on the menu. They had the real shooters in Milwaukee, all right? They had the most notorious shooters in Chicago, the most famous rappers out there frontlining for them, and that's just the way it goes, okay? So look, a lot of people are going to call it cap. They're going to say it's the police. They're going to ironically call it both cap and police work at the same time. But really, this is just the culmination of lyric after lyric of Lil Jeff, Q50, everyone around the Bloodhounds, openly talking about murders that they seemingly had something to do with. There ain't many triple homicides that happen, all right? That was a special, and I'm not saying it in a good way, but that was a unique hit. Three for one, however you want to call it, that's not normal. That doesn't happen, okay? So you guys jumping on songs talking about you got 3 murders in your first hit. You blew up the spot for yourselves, okay? And allegedly this is the murder that's related to, and I wonder if the authorities will actually eventually crack down on this situation. And I've said it before, this is no disrespect. I love Q50's music, but it always feels like he's working on borrowed time because ain't no way you can just be out here catching triple homicides and then just moving on like nothing happened. But hey, maybe that is the state of society at that point. I don't know. I still love the music, but This is very sad. So let me know what you guys think. Is it cap? Is it police work? All of that kind of good stuff. I don't really care. Okay, you can hate all you want, but this is what's going on. Okay, we were eventually going to get to the bottom of this. Now we have. Okay, so I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. I'm out. Peace.